All right, already. This is Kevin Drake on 12/5/2024 at 12:11 at noon on December the 5th. It's good to see your beautiful faces, Denarians, you captains of industry holding XRP, XLM, you Shiba Inu, dogheads, and the rest of you holding all the goodies in the goodie room. Algorand, been pumping. XLM, XRP going crazy. Settled back down a little bit lately, but good news there. Dinar, UGX, and VND selling strong. So if you need any Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, or UGX, I've got new prices on UGX. A little bit of a break in Dinar, although I did have an increase recently in Dinar. My price is still the same because the big dealers are not changing their prices. So I'm going to lead off with saying I'm not a financial advisor. Smith Barney, Edwards Jones, or any kind of licensed financial advisor. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only, giving you my views and words that I get, visions, dreams, and words from the Lord. You have to take what I throw out on the table, pick it up and pray about it, and dance with the Lord on your own. Enough said about that. So I'm just going to pray and get right into it. I'm not going to play worship music today because I have really so much information. I don't have really time. If I want to cram in 44 minutes of information, I'm going to have to do 2 videos back to back, or at least a week apart, to really cover everything I have. I apologize for not being on here. I've been meaning to come on for the last 3 weeks, but every day has been something distracting me, or ministry or business. So forgive me for that. I'm just going to get right into it. On November 11th, I had a vision. Today I'm going to relay a lot of words from the Lord, but I'm going to get into a few visions at first and spend about 5 minutes analyzing an article from X, the old Twitter, that I think is important, that will lead me into some things that the Lord has shown me that I think you should know about, that I think is really important for the wealth transfer and Christians who are trying to steward wealth to become Joseph's and Joshua's, to win the end time harvest, store up, and help your brother in need. So on November 11th, I saw El Elyon, Tusk Musk. That's his real name, El Elyon. Elon Musk's real name is El Elyon. I called him El Elyon, Tusk Musk in this vision. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not trying to insult Elon. I'm just giving the visions and the words as I receive them. So I saw Elon stimulating a chimera human-animal hybrid tiger man on Hill Park bench. It was a vision, and I saw this taking place under the giant oak tree that had a giant yellow ribbon tied around its massive old trunk. The actual giant oak tree did not have a yellow ribbon tied around it, but in a vision, I saw a yellow ribbon appear on the giant old oak. And I saw Elon stimulating the human-animal hybrid tiger man. Is Doge, BNB Tiger, even XRP and XLM, and the Lion Piss token affected by this IMF Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt? And is he A black-eyed child all grown up to pump and dump Shiba? I asked the Lord, Lord, please show me if Shiba Inu will ever hit the 10 cent to, oh my God, $10 mark. I asked the Lord, did you send me a lying spirit to deceive me to say 10 cents to $10? And the reason I asked that is because a friend of mine sent me a video clip when I was in California. I recorded in 2022, and I had the anointing of God to prophesy about people being hachikos, waiting upon the Lord on Shiba Inu. But I am in complete disbelief for 10 cents to $10, to be honest, for Shiba. I have to be honest and say I am so shocked that I prophesied 10 cents to $10. And I'm asking the Lord, was I deceived on that? Because I'm believing more like, 0.0001, 0.0007, 0.0009, 3 zeros, couple zeros and a 1, couple zeros and a 7, couple, zeros and a 9, 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents would be massive. That would be massive in my view 2 to 3 years later since I prophesied about Shiba. There was just so many dreams and people speaking about Shiba. I just wonder if 2 Kings or 1 Kings chapter 22 has happened in the body of Christ, even to me. I seek the Lord at least 4 hours a day, and before I post the video, I cry out to God for a long time. I rewatch the video. I don't go live. I watch the video. I watch the words. I replay, listen very closely to what I said, and then I ask and inquire of the Lord, Lord, is this your word? Is this your word? I don't make usually but one video a month. Now it's been almost 2 months. I've gotten so many words, so much revelation to share. I will have to do back-to-back videos either today and tomorrow or within a week to cover everything. So let's move on. November the 13th, I saw Elyon Tusk sodomize a Metallica Tiger Man, a machine AI, Tiger Man, Chimera, transhumanist creature. The Metallicus Tiger Man was marked XRP on its tail and XLM on its claws and fangs, the tiger teeth, when he mounted it. I know. I'll probably make Prophetic Money Man's channel on that. Let him try to do the graphics on that one. It became a rocket ship when Elon mounted it, and it was marked 111 XRP, and it was marked Hienz 57 steak sauce bottle, marked XLM as its sponsor. Why Hienz 57? Why would a steak sauce company be sponsoring or advertising on an Elon Musk rocket ship? Hienz 57 XLM. That rocket ship marked 111, which segues nicely into a Chase Bank vision I had on December 4th, yesterday at 2:33 p.m. I saw a cowboy standing upon the flat roof of Chase Bank in Lee Summit, Missouri, as I drove past the Chase Bank. I saw this cowboy, who was like 6 feet tall cowboy, twirling his lasso. I saw the cowboy, like I said, about the size of a man, 6 feet tall, with leather chaps, cowboy hat, and a vest made of leather. His chaps were marked XLM, vertically on both sides, XLM up and down his legs. He grew up huge in his first growth spurt to about 11 to 13 feet, and then he grew up to 22 to 27 feet on the second growth spurt. Then I saw his blue t-shirt marked Hienz 57, bottle of steak sauce. Then I saw him rope a huge longhorn Texas steer. The big longhorn steer bull was massive and marked and branded XRP on one side, on his right side, that was shown to me, and then he was flipped around and was marked 111. 111. Is that $57 for XLM and $111 for XRP? Will XLM be half the rate of XRP when XRP is 111? Will XLM be 57? Is that the meaning of the vision? Or is 111, which is the number of alignment, the code, the meaning? Is this a code or a number? That morning on the way to the post office, that same morning, going past Papa's workshop, I was delivering some dinar to the post office. I saw a vision that was cued or spun off of a 1950s, 1960s old faded turquoise blue Chevy truck sitting out in front of Papa's workshop. As soon as I saw it, I had a vision. And I saw this truck outside of Papa's workshop in his driveway, 1950s, 60s turquoise blue faded Chevy truck, be jacked up like a low rider that would go on a hydraulic system up. It was marked XLM on the left side and XRP on the other side. The side that was raised higher than the XRP side was the XLM side. It was raised like this. At first it went up like that, and then it was kicked over like this, and XRP marked 11 on the side of the truck. XRP 11 and XLM 22. The XLM side was raised higher than the XRP side. When XRP was 11, I saw XLM on the side of this truck at 22. Will XLM outperform XRP in the short run before the Great Reset? Which leads me to explain what the BIS and the unit token is, and read TRADERQGIRL letter to try to explain briefly what I feel like the Lord has taught me out of Anthony Patch's videos. He's a way more brilliant man than me, but I think I have a gift I would take my gift over his brilliance any day, because some of the things that Anthony Patch says, he's such a brilliant quantum physicist. His mind is so brilliant that I think he doesn't pray enough. And my gift is to hear the word of the Lord, see visions, dream dreams, interpret dreams and visions, hear the word of the Lord and relay them, how he says to say it, when he says to say it, where he says to say it, and to whom, and not ask why. So TRADERQGIRL, whose emblem on X is a beautiful girl. It's not dressed very godly, I'll tell you that. Basically, she's riding a big old black swan, black swan event that's coming. So I'm going to try to boot this thing up so I can read it better. So it says the stock market, TRADERGIRL Q, at TRADERGIRL Q post, wealth transfer is the title. Stock market is closed. Now I realize as I read this to you, she's wrong on the dates. That doesn't matter, because dates are like a greased pig. Nobody knows the day or the hour that Jesus is coming. Anybody you hear on dinarguru.com or any other site that's telling you that the dinar is going to happen in December or tomorrow, don't listen to dates, because it's a greased pig. Nobody knows the day of the hour of the global currency reset, when the dinar is going to harvest, or anything else. We may get signs for the coming of the Lord Jesus, and we may get signs of the coming of this wealth transfer reset. But I'll tell you what, before I go on into this article deeper, I have been in this since October the 30th, 2011, when I had the dinar dream. And I have believed in the Iraqi dinar from the moment I had that dream and saw the 25K note and saw and interpreted the things that the Lord was telling me, and began to study night and day, 10,000 hours that year, about the Iraqi dinar, and get many dreams and visions and words that first year. And then 4 years later in 2014, really getting a lot of revelation on the dinar from God, for sure, as a Noah's Ark, to preach to people to get into the dinar. And then got revelation about the Vietnamese dong going to 46 cents. And then later came the Indonesian rupiah, and then the Korean won, and then the UGX revelations, which all of those are important. For me, I just want to say before I go any further in this article that I believe Wise.com is going to zero. Anthony Patch believes that all debts are going to zero and all assets are going to zero. I personally believe that if you have $10,000 in the bank, don't take me to the bank on this or throw tomatoes at me. Do your own due diligence. And if the Lord tells you to get all your dollars out and put it into dinar or silver or gold or bullets or whatever, do what the Lord tells you to do. I just think if you have $1,000 in the bank, when they reset all the debts to zero, that if Anthony Patch is right and they set our assets to zero, I think on the other side, they're going to put the new United States dollar and the new United States digital dollar in your bank account. Even if we have a 30% devaluation of that dollar, I do not believe they're going to revalue the Iraqi dinar into a dead fiat Federal Reserve note. And I'll get into, as I read this article, I'll get in deeper into that, why I believe that Trump is going to be in office and the dinar will be revalued after the crash of the dollar, the implosion. It's not even a crash, it's an implosion. It's a premeditated implosion of the dollar, the stock market, Bitcoin, some ETFs, probably Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, and definitely probably Bitcoin and some of these other things that are going to implode. Here, TRADERQGIRL says, the stock market is closed November the 28th, the anniversary of the death of Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man, signaling the crash. When the stock market opens on Friday, it will be Black Friday. This is last week. Panic sellers will flood the market, selling off blue chip stocks, exiting the market as quick as possible. Yeah, she was wrong about the date. So what? Just listen to what she has to say, because I think she's pretty sharp. Simultaneously, AMC stock, which is entertainment, movie stock, GME, which is GameStop, think virtual reality and games, virtual games like Xbox, stuff like that. XRP, XLM, Doge, gold, and silver will start to squeeze. Do you know what it means when they squeeze the stock? She'll go on to explain it a little bit here. This will cause the hedge funds and the banks to liquidate their housing and stock portfolios to pay the apes to try to control the chaos. They will be unable to keep all the shorted stocks down and metals and crypto while trying to stay afloat. This is what begins the wealth transfer and the financial reset. After the market falls, a certain percentage of market makers will turn the power off completely to stop a bank and stock market run. This is when Starlink comes in and flips the switch to 4 months, 11 days after the CrowdStrike outage. Remember back when 8 million computers went down with the Windows or whatever, and airports were shut down? The CrowdStrike outage, cyber power attacks expected on 11/4. Switch that around because their occult is into inverse relationships. 411, because 11/4 is already passed. Switch it around to 411, saints, and that would be April 11th. Many big name banks, hedge funds, and corporations will collapse due to this collapse. Prepare for the rise of the Planet of the Apes. It all starts with a bridge. Hello. It shows the San Francisco bridge right there with the helicopter and a Planet of the Apes poster. And it has one green eye. Hello. The green-eyed dragon, even on the old Iraqi dinar note, let alone the new one, this ape that he's showing has a green eye, one eye showing, and the San Francisco bridge. What does that mean? XRP, XLM. What else is up there in San Francisco? In a line down a street, and then it creates a pyramid, and then another line. All those big crypto companies in America, especially XRP and XLM, Stellar and Ripple, are up there in San Francisco. The bridge is XRP Ripple. All right. That is a great article. Go check it out. I'll put a link in the description so you can read it yourself. You have to. I went back to it 20 times because it's very important. Let me just say really quickly that she's leaving out a few things. When they squeeze, and a bunch of those guys that are shorting the market, think how they shorted the market in the housing industry and created the Jenga. Watch Margin Call and the Big Short movies, how $5 trillion was sucked out of the market. Imagine 5 times that amount, 25 trillion wealth transfer. And we have 35 trillion in debt right now. And how many Iraqi dinar did President Trump admit to Laura Ingraham on Fox News in 2019 when he said, oh, well, how are they going to pay back? How are they going to pay us back for that $1 billion airport in Iraq, President Trump? And he said, well, Laura, we have 35 billion, which is 35 trillion Iraqi dinar in the United States Treasury. And at 3-to-1, that pays back our debt of 35 trillion with the surplus. Of it at 3 to 5 or 7 or 9, imagine the numbers for the Iraqi dinar. The largest holder of the Iraqi dinar is the United States government, and the biggest sleeping giant importing all that gold from the Yamashita gold hoard, buried underneath the 9/11 towers and squirreled out to the deep underground military base in the Mojave Desert, then going to be brought into out of the Vatican and out of the Mojave Desert to Uganda to the 6 smelters, and they're going to melt all that gold down and stamp Uganda's stamp on it because they don't have $12.8 trillion of gold in the ground in Uganda. They've got trillions of dollars of rare earth minerals. You can bank on that, and they may have a few $billion of gold, but this is the greatest wealth transfer as far as Forex products is the Uganda Gorilla Notes. If you need some, I'm reducing my price much, much lower to compete with my competitors. Go to Aquastone Trading at yahoo.com and email me, or warhorsesrising@gmail.com, because I think that wise.com is going to zero in the reset. I agree with Anthony Patch. Go to Rumble. Listen to both of Anthony Patch's videos on the BRICS nations, which I'll get into right now and tell you a little bit different opinion than I have. Anthony Patch, don't get me wrong, highly recommend. I salute him. Great man of God and a great mind, a brilliant mind. But I believe the Lord shows me some things as I pray about his work. I believe the Lord shows me some things that he makes a mistake on. I do not believe what he said about the Kool-Aid that was injected by Dr. Fauci's and people's blood being the mark. I believe that it has nanobots in it and toxins, and even Gilgamesh, King Nimrod's cloned, replicated DNA in it, and all kinds of other nasty things. But I think with EDTA and vitamin C taken back to back, it can shut down those electronics. And I think that zeolite from Micah Portney, of which I'll put a link in for the zeolite, will eliminate all the toxins and sweep all that out of your blood if you were duped into taking the Kool-Aid from Dr. Fauci's. There is hope for you. I do not believe what Anthony Patch says about that Kool-Aid being the mark of the beast. I think it is a recipe to be activated to change your DNA. Do you know that your DNA has YHWH on it, which means Yahweh, behold, nails, hand, and that your DNA has 2 sets of 22 chromosomes and then 1 set of X or Y chromosomes for male or female, and that they want to change your DNA, I believe, through the med beds, or maybe it's the mark that they put in your hand or forehead, or maybe the med beds that I do not believe in. I believe that you will get a demonic power, a demonic spirit, an avatar. They will digitize you. I believe the med beds are wicked. And unless the Lord showed me that there is some sort of technology with frequency that I could use to heal something, I'm believing that the laying on of hands and the anointing of oil by the prophets and the apostles that are coming, and the hospitals that have people that know how to pray, use herbs and the leaves for the healing of the nations. I believe that urgent care centers and hospitals are going to be popping up all over the world with people that know how to pray, and herbalists who use the trees and the plants and the superfoods that God has provided to heal people. And that if you get on that med bed, if it is something that will activate that Kool-Aid that you put in your blood and what they spray in the skies, those god-awful, cursed planes that create chemtrails, I think they are spraying the same stuff, and they're trying to poison the water, the food, and the sky. And if you don't take zeolite and that EDTA to shut down the nanobots, EDTA with vitamin C back to back, and then take your zeolite to get all this trash out of our bodies, then I think there will come a day that people will either get on the med bed or take a mark in their right hand or forehead, which I believe will activate that Kool-Aid, which will cause the electronics in people's blood, meaning the nanobots, microchips with the graphene oxide, because people are right now like walking cell phones, receiving and giving a signal. It's been proven in autopsies that people give off a signal that have taken that Kool-Aid. So if they want to change your DNA from 22 strands, you have 144,000 genes. They want to give you another 72,000 genes, which equals 216,000, which is 600 times 60 times 6. And they want to change you to having 3 strands, a triple helix instead of a double helix, which will be the name, the image, and the mark of the beast, instead of having Yahweh, who's written on your DNA, YHWH. Instead of having Yahweh written on your blood, they will change your DNA to having the image and the mark and the number of the name written in your DNA, and you will not be saved. That is the word of the Lord. Let's get into the words that God gave me. Oh, I have to tell you what Anthony Patch taught me. Give him credit, and then take it a little bit further and disagree with him. So, if you watch his video, which are brilliant videos on the BRICS, I knew in my heart that America wasn't going to get taken down. The dollar wasn't being taken down by Russia and China. Sorry, no. The Bank of International Settlements created the unit. The unit is a cryptocurrency, tokenized digital asset that will be traded amongst finance ministers, banks, countries, And, XRP is going to be used for banks, corporations, massive amounts of money. And the XRP ledger, when you listen to what the unit is of the BRICS and come to understand that Russia and China, every time you hear people say on the internet, oh, BRICS nations are coming against the dollar's going to be taken down by Russia and China and 140 nations behind the BRICS. That's hogwash. Yes, the United States and Britain are two of 31 countries who are known as observer nations of the BRICS system, but make no mistake, people, the United States, which I had that vision of two fat owls in 2014. One marked the United States Treasury and one marked the Federal Reserve Bank. And they were sitting on a power line. And the Lord said, what do you see, son? And I told him. And he said, now what do you see, son? And I saw the United States Treasury fat owl lean over and slurp up like a Slurpee straw the Federal Reserve Bank. And 5 years later, that happened with President Trump signing an executive order causing a private, not Federal Reserve Bank to be swallowed up and merged into and underneath the wing umbrella of the United States Treasury. So the United States Treasury, a government, has a private central bank owned by what? 13 Illuminati families, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Warburgs, whatever. Inside the United States government, a private bank exists, so Trump will have control of this private bank. Is that what's going on? That happened in 2019. So, if the Bank of International Settlements is the head and the IMF to the left and the World Bank to the right and the Bank of International Settlements is the crown, the top dog in Basel, Switzerland, of the central banks, of which what? We only have 3 or 4 or 5 countries in the world that don't have a central bank. And all the other 200 countries, or how many ever currencies there are, all have central banks. And if the Federal Reserve Bank in New York and Washington, D.C., which is a city-state, along with the Vatican, which is a city-state, and London, which is a city-state, all the obelisks, all 3 obelisks are a sign of the occult power in those 3 city-states. And if the Bank of International Settlements is the head of the Federal Reserve Bank, and the Bank of International Settlements created the unit, which I believe is a XRP ledger. The unit is going to be traded amongst countries 40% by gold and 60% by commodities. It is a digital asset that will move trillions of dollars super fast in operability. Boom, 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 boom. Cross-border transactions super fast. What's that sound like? Sounds to me like XRP, the Ripple Labs XRP ledger. It sounds to me like the unit is running off of the blockchain of XRP. That's for sure. So, if the United States is supposed to be an observing nation of BRICS, and the dollar's being supposedly taken down by Russia and China, which is bunk. No, the beast in the United States, and the beast in the Vatican, and the beast in London, 400 and some banks in a 1 square mile known as the city, where the mayor of the city walks in front of the queen. The queen has to walk 10 paces behind the mayor of the city. And there's a dragon and an obelisk as their sign, because they're the financial capital of the world. In Washington, D.C., with its 555-foot obelisk, phallic symbol, 111 feet deep. 111, there's the number again, for 666 feet total obelisk. And an obelisk outside the Vatican, and those 3 city-states with the same symbol are running the world. You really think that the dollar is being crashed? And when this lady says that the stock markets and the blue chips are going to fall, and the panic sellers will flood the market, selling off blue chips, exiting the market as quick as possible, And they're going to squeeze it. What does it mean to squeeze something? Where all the guys that are shorting the market are going to run. And she says, AMC, entertainment. Is this Kabuki Theater? GameStop stock. Why is entertainment stock and GameStop virtual reality stock mixed in with XRP, XLM, Doge, Elon, gold, and silver? And when they start to squeeze, what does that mean? It means they pump. It means they pump up, 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 up. They skyrocket. They rocket. So do not be fooled. If you see the stock market crash by 40,000 points or 20,000 points like Kim Clement prophesied, and you see the dollar implode, do not fear, do not panic, because everything is going to reset. This global currency reset is a resetting of the old communication system. The communication system known as SWIFT. When you wire money, it takes a day or two to get there and clear. Everything's going to be instantaneous. When the global currency reset, the financial reset happens, it's a resetting of communications. No longer analog, it's going digital. And every country will have a CBDC connected to the unit that was created by the Bank of International Settlements, which every central bank is underneath the head of the Bank of International Settlements out of Basel, Switzerland. And as the unit, a crypto token, runs the countries of the world, and as every country has a CBDC, and as every country backs their paper money and their CBDC by gold and silver, probably 40% gold and a basket of commodities like the unit, be not deceived that the dollar is being taken out by the BRICS nations. No, 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 because the beast in the United States and Britain and the Vatican are running the show. That's why Elon went to see the Pope. That's why Trump went to see the Pope. Okay? The Jesuits run the show, and they're in league with the CIA and the MI6 and the feds of every three-letter agency, which reminds me of another vision that I had about a month ago when I drove by Chase Bank and I saw a giant toilet bowl come out of Chase Bank. And I saw all of the news agencies, ABC, NBC, get flushed first. Then I saw CBS get clipped. C, B, S. And C got flushed, B got flushed, S got flushed. And right after that, I heard Trump talking about he's going to take down 60 Minutes, which is CBS. Then I saw Fox and CNN merge. Now, if that doesn't happen out in the open, I believe it'll happen behind the scenes, behind the veil. So, to wrap up on just the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, and the unit and the United States dollar, we are not going to see, in my opinion, and I can be wrong, but I'm passionate about this. I've studied it for 100,000 hours the last 14 years. I do not think that the dinar is going to harvest until we see the takedown, the implosion of the dollar, the implosion, the purposeful taking down, what they call the crash in the news of the stock market, which will have the hamburger in the middle of the dollar being imploded. They're hiding the implosion of the dollar in the crash of the stock market, in my opinion. And I think we'll see Bitcoin crash. And I think we'll see XRP, XLM, and everything crash eventually, even if they spike up. And then after the crash, they're going to reset the system. So don't panic. I hope and believe that any dollars we have in the bank will be credited back into the new gold-backed system. But it's your responsibility to protect them. If you feel like you need to buy gold and silver or whatever and not have any dollars in the bank, that's your decision. I'm not going to share what I'm doing. So enough said about that. It's, my God, 39 minutes and 55 seconds. I probably will have to, because I've got pages of words to read. I'm telling you, I have so much revelation from the Lord to give. That was just like some visions to give you guys and some explanation of Anthony Patch's brilliant work. And I didn't even, oh my gosh, I didn't even get to the goodies in the goodie room of really important words to help you guys prepare your hearts and to understand some deep things of the Lord. I'm really going to stop it at 40 minutes and 31 seconds here and say, I promise, I'll come back on and give you these words in the next week or two, maybe even the next couple of days. I'm going to try my best to do back-to-back videos. Within 2 weeks is a back-to-back for me, because I wait on the Lord and I pray and I minister and I do other things than just try to pump videos out and research other great men's work. I try to hear the Lord and hear the greatest voice of all, which leads me to say one thing. No, I'm going to pass. So may the Lord bless you and keep you, even if you're an accuser of the brethren and don't know what you're talking about, Brad. All right, adios.